So this is how I was groomed by my best friend's dad when it turns out I was actually 8. This whole time I was thinking I was 9. I was actually 8. For you who doesn't know, he took child pictures of me as a kid and did a lot of inappropriate things. So first off, he noticed that I lived in a less than fortunate area, that I had not many means. We were very poor. We didn't have much money. Whenever he picked me up, my mother wasn't there and my father wasn't there. I don't want to shame my mom. She was working 3 jobs and just trying to survive having 4 children after leaving an abusive husband. And so I was very neglected as a child. And that's probably why this went unnoticed. He realized that I had an absent father and I also had a physically absent mother. Both my parents were pretty absent. He noticed that my clothes were old and not very nice. He noticed that I didn't really understand how a normal father was, so he used that to his advantage. He decided to take us shopping. First thing we went to Claire's and he asked me what I wanted and I got whatever I wanted, and I also said I wanted my ears pierced, so without my parents' permission he got my ears pierced, which I guess in a way made me trust him somehow. I don't really know. I haven't put the pieces together with that, but I think there's something underlining there. I've always loved hair and makeup, so he took us to a hair salon. I got my hair done. I got highlights and a blowout, and that was really fun for me. He did a lot of things that were really, really fun. He took us to an amusement park, which was extremely exciting to me because I didn't really get to go anywhere. I was the baby of 4, so by the time I was born, the fun was gone, and then also my parents split and we were poor and I just didn't get to do those kind of things. So I think he knew that and wanted to show me the time of my life, so that's what I would talk about when I went home, not the things that happened at night. He bought us alcohol to kind of impair us. So with that, he bought strawberry daiquiri Seagrams, which isn't super strong alcohol, but when you're 8, it is. So it was fun and a flavor, and it was pretty. It had a beach on the package. It was these cute little bottles. It was fun. We were having fun. For some of the pictures, we were wearing princess outfits, and it was actually lingerie, and it was pink and fluffy and pretty and little princesses. So it was all framed in a way that was fun and something that was super girly, and I'm just one of those girly dads. So that's how I left that situation and didn't tell my mom right away, because I didn't tell her anything bad. I told her I had the time of my life. Maybe if she would have dug with questions, she could have gotten an answer, but she didn't have any reason to feel like she needed to ask more questions. But when you have children, you might feel like a helicopter parent and you might feel a little crazy, but if you feel something is off, ask the straightforward questions. My mom asked me just last week if he was naked whenever we were there, and I said yes, and she couldn't believe that I didn't tell her that as a kid when I came back, that he was naked the entire time and we were in his bed while he was that way, and I never told her that. But I think had she asked me, I would have said yes. So it does feel strange. I would assume that it would feel like you're being a little over if you ask those questions, but sometimes those questions need to be asked outright to get a direct answer from your child. So there can always be a way you can frame it, because also you don't want to say weird things. I don't know. But if you feel like something's off, straight to the point questions. I hope that this happens to no child and you don't need to ask those questions, but unfortunately this is the dark world that we live in. And for the update on the detention hearing, he was detained, so he wasn't set free. So unless he pleads guilty, there will be a trial. I don't really know when that's going to be, but it could be weeks, it could be months, it could even be a year. I have no idea, but it's good news. I had a bit of a spiral last week. I kind of had a depression week. After looking at the pictures of the children, I had nightmares every night. I had a nightmare last night. I almost didn't go to work today because I was feeling very heavy and very dark. And so tonight I decided to go to church, actually. And it was exactly what I needed to hear. The message was to trust God even in the ugly parts. And so this is my ugly part. This darkness, this waiting game, it's bringing up a lot of things that I wish it wasn't. I actually talked to my mom last week, and we talked about how I always was under the impression that I'd only gone over there 2 times. Apparently, I've gone over there a lot. I went over there for like 2 years, and I don't remember any of that. So my mind has been kind of spiraling. There's a lot of issues that I've had, like sexually, that I've never had an answer for, that I didn't understand why I was so against it and so uncomfortable and so triggered by these things, like being touched in a certain way, even by the love of my life. And they're starting to make me wonder if it has anything to do with that. And so my brain is just kind of feeling very confused and very like, I'm trying to just get past this, and I'm trying to lean on God, and it's working. But like my pastor said, sometimes it's ugly, and there are days when it feels ugly. And I'm trusting. When I came forward with this a year ago, I trusted God, and it took some patience, but here we are. We made an impact. Something happened. And so, if anything, I trust him more than I ever have, and I'm just going to